Beshem Aser Nase V'Nasliach. We're having another executive Torah learning in offices in Vernon. Thank you so much for the hosts. May the zechut of this Limud Torah be a protection for all Am Israel and Ilui Nishmat of all Nifta Israel. Especially today is the your side of one of my role models, Harav Sheftel Nuberger, Zecher Sad Vracha, Harav Sheftel Meir ben Harav Naftali, who was the president Menahel of Yeshivat Nei Israel in Baltimore, Maryland. So may this be a zechut le'ilui nishmato. Okay, in this week's parasha, and by the way, this shiur is based on that which Rav Sheftel Nuberger, Alav Shalom, gave shiur on. A lot of ideas comes from his shiur. That I had the privilege to listen to the shiur from recordings. Okay, in Parashat Terumah, this week's parasha, we see a very important concept that a Yehudi, a Jew, is supposed to separate certain so-called taxes, lahavdil, certain separations, and bring it as a gift and give it to the building of a Mishkan. Mishkan was the movable, portable Beit HaMikdash while Bnei Israel were in the Midbar Sinai, and eventually Hashem gave us the Beit HaMikdash. But before Beit HaMikdash, we had the Mishkan. It's like a miniature of Beit HaMikdash where there was a Mizbeach, where there was a menorah, and there was a way to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. From that Mishkan, it was like a little Beit HaKnesset, Shul, Beit HaMikdash in the desert of Sinai. Now, in this week's parasha that talks about the necessities of Mishkan, Almighty Hashem is commanding to Moshe Rabbeinu, Daber Bnei Israel ve'chuli terumah, that go speak to Bnei Israel that they should take for me terumah. Terumah is the separations, taxes, that which is needed to build Beit Mishkan. Me'et kol ish asher yidebenu libo, from any person whose heart desires to give. Tiqechu et terumati, you should take my terumah. Now, first of all, this lashon, many mefarshim commentators talk about. What is it that's saying you should take my terumah? It's theirs. It's their money. It's their taxes. They're coming to give. So our Chachamim teach us everything that a person has is really from Hashem. All the blessings that we have is all from Hashem. So that which you give is not that you giving it from that which you have it all by own on your own. Hashem gave you that blessing, and that's why when you give it, you're really giving from that which God gave it to you. That's why the pasuk says that they should give from my terumah. That this really belongs to me, and temporarily you have the control over it. That applies to any belongings that we have. We have a temporary permission to use it to raise our children, to use it to be a proud Jew, right? So over here, there's a hint to that. And our Chachamim teach us the word of giving in Hebrew is noten, right? It's the same thing, right? Giving and getting is the same thing. That which you give, you get is the same thing. You never lose, especially when you give for a good cause. When you help, right? Partake in a siyot, partake mitashot, good causes, right? You help somebody who doesn't have a tefillin to buy a tefillin, somebody who needs housing, or a Yehudi, you're not really giving. You're getting for yourself. You're even gaining more by giving. So we see three categories of giving here in this week's parasha. There are three categories of giving. Harav Sheftel Nuberger, Zecher Savlacha explains, right, that two of them refers to giving for the Mishkan. Actually, all of them is the different levels, like giving of different materials, gold, zahav, silver, right, all sorts of precious stones that were used for nechoshet of Kohen Gadol, right? And we see there is a third way of giving that was Asher Nidebo Dibo, that whoever's heart desires, obviously everything has to be to desire, shouldn't be forceful, but that is actually mentioned in Torah as Machazit Shekel, that every Yehudi is supposed to give a half a coin, back then called shekel, right, towards the building of Beit HaMikdash. Now there is a difference between the first two and the last one. Right? The first two, right, people bring it whatever they want. Right? Somebody brings more gold, silver for the Beit HaMikdash because there was a lot of silver and gold that were used there. There was copper also used there, right? And there were other things that were used in Beit HaMikdash, right, and Mishkan that every Yehudi had to contribute to, and that was the deductions of Machazit HaShekel. So why Machazit HaShekel had to be half a coin? A very wonderful, important lesson over here, because Hashem wants us to partake in mitzvot, that you are not a complete person without another Yehudi. That's why the poles of Mishkan, that which contributed to building those poles of Mishkan that held the Mishkan up, were by Machazit HaShekel, that they had to be to partnership, that every Yehudi needs to be involved. Right? That's why our Chachamim teach us, we rarely find one rich person come and say, okay, I'm going to give you everything that you want to for yeshiva. Right? There is no such a thing. Hashem wants it this way, that every Yehudi should go to so many different Yehudim, right, to get them involved with this visma. It is good to be involved, that everyone should have a chelek, they should have a part in this, right? And it's something very interesting. The person who was in charge of making all these gifts that came towards the building of Mishkan, he would come and separate what should go for Kodesh HaKodashim, the holiest site of the in the Mishkan, the holiest site in the whole world, Kodesh HaKodashim. What should go for menorah, what should go for Mishkan, different parts, Mizbeach, this and that. That was Bezalel ben Chur. That Bezalel had the vision, had the understanding. He was able to look at that which a person brought to see, right, how much he was giving from himself. Was he giving it because of peer pressure, or he was totally giving it because he loves this mitzvah, that he wants to be a partner with service of Hashem, with worship of Hashem, right? The more pure it was, the higher level it would go towards the Beit HaMikdash, and so he would set aside that for Kodesh HaKodashim. He had that ability to differentiate between the givings of Am Yisrael, to see what needs to go for the highest level and what should go for the lowest level. And a practical lesson for us in life is that based on our intention, based on our kavanah, right, our mitzvot, our givings are appreciated and are valued by Hashem. If a person gives from all his heart towards a good cause, that giving becomes very powerful, right? I have from time to time certain donors that they call on their own, Rabbi, I have some extra maaser, I have some extra donations, I want to give you for this cause, for that cause. That is very much appreciated by Hashem and obviously by a non-profit organization. Why? Because this person came forward himself. And you know, there's a wonderful story of a very big Rav, and I end with this. Harav Wozner said, Zecher Tzadi Bracha, that he used to go maybe once or twice a year to certain nature sites, like in the middle of the mountain, right, to see the greatness of Hashem, and also to have time to meditate, to spend time with his Talmidim, with his students, and to pray to Hashem. Right? Sometimes you want to get away from where you are, from yeshiva, to go to a quiet place, to refresh yourself and to re-strengthen yourself and come back again. So he used to go to mountains. One year he went to Austria with his Talmidim from Eretz Yisrael. He went to Austria, and he had this ancient, antique Tehillim that he used to pray with, and probably this was very, very valuable. Maybe some valued it at hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And he took it with himself to top of the mountain with his students. He used it, and after the prayers, they came back to the bottom of the mountain to where they camped, and one of the students noticed that the Rav forgot to bring his Tehillim. Right? So he told her, Rav, you forgot to bring it. Let me go to the upper location and on the top where we were, and I bring it back. And there's a good driver is gonna take me there. So Rav Wozner said, no, I don't want you to go. So, but Rav, this Tehillim is very valuable. It's probably thousands of dollars. He said, no, I don't want you to go there because it's a tourist site, and maybe by now there's a lot of people coming there and they are not dressed properly, and who knows, maybe you go see somebody who is not dressed properly, and there's temptations and there's also some problems that you could get to. I don't want you to risk. Yeah, your neshama is more pure than this. I add this on my own, but that's what he meant. Your neshama, your soul needs to be pure. So back and forth, the Rav did not accept. Okay, so next day morning, early in the morning, some students, they decide to go up there when there is nobody there, and they go, and lo and behold, the Tehillim is gone. Somebody took it away. Okay, so they come back to Rav Wozner, and Rav Wozner says, no problem, it's okay, and he really doesn't become upset, because he knew that if he's they call it in Farsi halal, if his kosher is not going to be lost, it's going to come back, right? So fast forward, story goes on. 35 years later, right, a student of Rav Wozner comes to him with a gift, and Rav Wozner receives this sefer. He opens it, and he finds the same Tehillim that was lost. So he says, where did you find this from? He said, Rabbi, I found this Tehillim in an auction. They were selling it, and I saw your name in it. So I bought it for you. Right? So one of the lessons of this story is that which you have, right, that which you have with misfot, that which you keep it kosher, right, is never lost. That which we give for misfot, we gain it for all the times. All sorts of other investments, you never know where it's going to end up with, how successful this investment would be. But that which we invest in Torah, misfot, in raising our children, in misfot, in Sedaka, they always have an eternal value. And may Hashem help us that we also separate our terumot with ahava, with love, not forcefully, not because he's doing it, I should do it. Sometimes you see Bate Nesiot, they do kavod Torah. Okay, oh, he did $10,000, so I need to beat him, right? You don't want to beat him because you want to beat him. No, you want to beat because there is a mitzvah. If you need the beracha, you do it. Right? If not, okay, Be'ez Hashem. You do another beracha. So Be'ez Hashem, it should be all with ahava. And may this limud Torah be a zechut for all Am Yisrael, that they should have parnasa tova to give, lilmod, nalmed, lishma, ve'lasot et kol Torah kula, v'nomar Amen.